Nova Synergy is a pedophile. Nova Synergy was known as a moderator in the Discord community, officially owned by a YouTuber named Nani. Nova was interacted by Nani, keep in mind they've been friends for a year now, about a minor incident because allegedly Nova was flirting and being lovey-dovey to a 13-year-old girl. When confronted by Nani, Nova's first response was, "Who told you?" solidifying that he knew the person he's flirting to is a minor. Nani then continued with the conversation, trying to find out how deep it really is, making it ironic that a fan and friend that supports the content Nani makes will be a part of it. In the DMs, Nova never denied knowing that he was indeed flirting to a minor. He also said that he doesn't care about her age, just of her character, which doesn't make it better because age is extremely important in a relationship. Now, before we get further into the video, I have to say that we do have proof of Nova being interested in kids, or at least is very inappropriate with them. Are you happy? Is this enough proof? No? Well, we do have more evidence coming up with some victims sharing their experience with Nova, and the one coming up is 13 years old, by the way. 13. Roll it.
Basically, Nova and we became friends in the Narnia server, and we started talking more, and like we got really close as friends. And so I remember Nova's pet chameleon died, and like I consoled him. I would have done that for anybody, but apparently I guess he like started having feelings for me, and so he confessed, and I was like, yeah, I kind of like you too, but I mean I'm super young, so we should just be friends, right? And yeah, and he's like, okay, yeah, I understand. Then like after that we kind of weren't friends. And so like he started flirting. He was like, oh, I love you, and I was like, yeah, I love you too. And he called me cute and stuff, and was like, oh, I'll snuggle you and stuff. And then like we'd say good night, like, oh, good night, sleep well, I love you, with hearts and stuff, every single night, mostly. And then the rest of our friend group, they got sort of mad at Nova because like he was only spending time with me, because like I was like, I guess, the only person in the world to him, and like it makes sense why they would be upset, because like, yeah, rude, you know. So then I eventually told one of our friends, the closest one in our friend group other than me and Nova, and they were like kind of skeptical, but then, like, I mean, they were also really emotionally dependent on Nova, like me. They kind of got manipulated, so they were like supportive and stuff. They're like, okay, as long as you just stay friends and stuff. And I was like, yeah. And it's not their fault in any way, because it was all the same. So when school started, I couldn't talk as much. I had homework. I couldn't be on VC or play games and stuff with them as much, and like Nova got really sad and like sort of depressed, and he was like, oh, I don't really love you anymore, like I've sort of lost feelings for you. And again, I was super emotionally dependent on him, so I was like devastated, and like I was really sad about that, and I was like, oh, this is the worst day ever, right? And then, like, eventually, soon, he's just like, never mind, I love you now. Then everything, like, was the same, except I was, like, worse off in mental health. And, like, it happened a couple times. He did this a couple times, including when I came out as non-binary, and he didn't really like me because of it, and, like, as that's kind of transphobic. And I was like, oh, again, I was devastated. So he was kind of manipulating me like that. He was just breaking my mental health, and like, you know, basically I was becoming super dependent on it emotionally, and it was working. And in September, I got Twitter. He started like publicly flirting a little bit, and I was like, okay, yeah. I was sort of uncomfortable, but I didn't tell him because how do I tell him? I can't, you know. And so it was fine. I was like, yeah. I mean, if he does it, it's fine. Then oh right. So I drew a lot of stuff for him because like he didn't like bribe me or anything. He didn't pay me. Like he paid me like a couple times, but then whenever I closed my commissions, he's like, okay, I guess it's free. It's free now. He didn't say that, but like that's what he did. And like so he asked me for a lot of art, and I drew him every single thing he asked, like every single thing. And then later he was like, oh, but you keep drawing me stuff. I should stop asking you. Oh, it's I'm such a bad person for you drawing me all this stuff for free. Oh, I'm like, oh. And I was like, no, it's okay. I promise it's okay. I don't feel bad. No, no, no. Like sort of guilt tripping me, I guess. So he also kept trying to buy me games and art and characters and things and stuff. And I was like, no, I no. But like I gave in eventually just to get him to stop bugging me. And once in DMs, he like secretly asked me out. He um like, oh, I can we secret date even though we can never tell anybody. I just can't wait for that long. And I was like, in my head, I didn't really want to because I was like, no, I'm literally I'm very young. I am like 2 years, I'm not. I'm very young is the point. And I was like, no, but I didn't say that because like I said yes. I was like, how can I say no? I'm so happy with them, right? I'm yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Nobody will ever know. It's okay. I guess we sort of were flirting more in DMs and also on like Twitter and stuff. And eventually people were always sort of suspicious because I was always like giggly and happy and giddy around him and stuff. And yeah, like it was pretty obvious, I guess. And then yeah, after everyone found out, uh he was blaming another minor for like quote unquote harassing him and stuff, even though he was just kind of like bullying them. And Nova was basically, I was on his side in that. I thought, oh, this other minor is harassing and bullying Nova. That's like, cause yeah, and a couple and like a lot of our other friends were on his side too. But like I haven't, but now like I can actually see, and most of our other friends can actually see now that the minor was actually the one getting bullied and harassed and stuff, and ignored a lot of the time, and Nova was basically guilt tripping a lot, playing the victim, and I didn't even know there were like other minors that were getting groomed and stuff, or at least he was talking to. And yeah, another thing that he did was he would always like well, not always, but sometimes he would make like sexual jokes towards me in DMs, and uh I then he'd always be like, I'm sorry, and I'd be like, no. Like first I would be like, no, like, but in a jokey way because I didn't want to make him feel bad. And then he'd be like, sorry, XD, because like it's always like XD or Lamau or something. Sorry, but also I'm laughing about it. And I always tried to make him feel like it was okay, even though it really wasn't. I was very uncomfortable with that. Like he would also call me hot, and I didn't like that. I tried to tell him I didn't like that. he didn't really pick up on me telling him about that, because I wasn't really confident enough to like straight up tell him. And like I don't know. The last thing I can really think of is that he's been a little bit like transphobic and homophobic and stuff. And it's like he I never really picked up, I mean, I kind of picked up on it, but I never really told him that much. And when I did tell him, he was like, I don't know, that's just my opinion. I'm just uncomfortable talking about those topics. And I was like, okay, I guess I respect your opinion and stuff. And I was like, I don't know, I just didn't really like it because it was transphobic, homophobic, and I am I'm non-binary, sapphic, you know. I didn't like that, and he's just like he's like straight and cis, and everything was good for him because he had all this privilege and stuff. And like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's it.
Hi, I'm one of the mentioned minors that's unfortunately been a victim of grooming under the hands of Nova Synergy. I will explain how I came to meet this person, the details of experiences and conversations that I've had with them, and everything in between. When I first met Nova, I was 14 years old, and sometime into our friendship, I had turned 15. I have always had my age up in my bio, and have mentioned in conversations multiple times that I was 14, so he knew exactly how young I was. He was 17 the first time of contact, but very quickly turned 18, as his birthday was close to when I had met him. I met Nova through Twitter. We began replying to each other via Nani's posts, and eventually Nova DM'd me on January 31st, 2020 to ask if I did commissions by any chance. This talking went on for a bit, to where he began complimenting me right off the bat and sometimes even using the cat winky face. Which, if you don't know what I'm talking about, is the semicolon and the 3. On to the details of said compliments. Nova called me and my actions cute, very often, while role-playing boobs or hugs. He began calling me his best friend very quickly from when we started talking. While speaking of a club I was in at the time for school, he slipped in a question of if I had a significant other that I went to said club with. Not knowing the intent behind such a question, I said no and stated I wasn't interested in changing that. He later hinted that he wanted to be Valentine's, complaining about a ship bot not giving him the ship he wanted, asking how I wanted the upcoming Valentine's of 2020 to go for me, and basically just overall seeing how I would react if I was asked to be a Valentine in general. Sure enough, after moving our conversation to Discord, he did indeed ask me to be his Valentine. I made clear that it would be nothing more than a quote-unquote harmless label, and that I didn't want to be any more than just normal friends. The day after Valentine's, he admitted to having feelings for me. I told him I did not feel the same. He later proceeded to remind me a couple of times of said feelings, and even once said a meme that felt a little iffy and manipulative to me. He asked me if he was making me uncomfortable before, and I answered, to which he did stop those mannerisms that I mentioned. I only told him to quit being publicly affectionate, but he should not have begun those actions in the first place. Something he apparently used as a reason to have fallen for me was the fact that I had helped him through his rough times, as he expressed through various vents. Nova vented to me many times, and I have vented to him once or twice in the beginning. Nova should not have vented to someone as young as myself, and any other adult or older friend of his would have been adequate nonetheless. While upset, Nova would use specific use of text, such as multiple dots, to express his sadness and upsetness in whatever he was upset about at said moment. When telling me drama about what was going on in his friend group, which was none of my business, he only told me his side and villainized people of which he was mad at or didn't like within said friend group to make them be the ones that looked bad, without me knowing the full gist of what's been on. Nova has attempted many times to get me gifts, expressed how he wanted to send me presents to get me Steam games and things that are physical items. I don't have Steam. He has also tried to get my home address out of me. I've also been told that he did this to the minor as well. Lucky for us, we both refused to give him such personal info. He has also gone to people he happened to be mutuals with that were giving away art, asking them to make me some art. usually being from free art giveaways that I had just so happened to comment on or even made up raffles that he entered for me. Speaking of art, he has also gotten a lot for me. I didn't really mind at the time, honestly, but he was spoken to about it by somebody else, subtly telling him off for asking others for way too much art, to which he didn't respond well to such a comment and acted very sad about it to me to make me on his side. Nova once had me make ship art of our personas. I explained very clearly that I did not support such a ship, as my Sona is literally me in art form, and I think of his Sona as himself. He told me that he did ship it, and despite being a little uncomfortable, I told him I didn't mind. He expressed how he wanted to see more ship art, and I didn't make any more because it did truly make me uncomfy. And most important of all, Nova flirted. He told me he loved me very often, sent me emoji hearts, sent me winky cat faces, told me that myself or my mannerisms were cute a lot, gave me roleplay boobs and hugs, and offered doing cuddles or snuggles a few times for me. While going through this, I did not realize the huge severity of Nova's actions. I looked up to Nani. It's not her fault, please don't blame her. She seriously did not know until I was like, hey, I'm a part of this too. In which he was friends with at the time, and to which he had tricked me into believing his intentions were pure and trustworthy, with not only the pedestal he used, but also his tone and such. I soon came to realize, after kinda drifting from Nova, that he'd begun to get close with another minor that is way younger than me, too. My mind had begun making doubts and his intentions, and sometimes my subconscious would go, this guy's the P word, but I'd still try to reassure myself about it. I had hoped the other minor was just about near in age to be close in a way to him, which wasn't the case, sadly, and I had hoped their younger voice on that call was just a little coincidence. I wanted to give Nova the benefit of the doubt, but it was simply just not the case. When the first public post calling him out came up, I was severely conflicted about what I should do next. Reading the screenshots, I decided that his actions were perceived as gross and sounded wrongly and oddly familiar to my own experience with him. I proceeded to block Nova everywhere and contact the person who had had the call out, and about how he had done pretty much the same to myself, and showed all of the questionable things that he'd said to me. I am glad I was able to get such an opportunity to confirm the deepness and wrongness of his actions for myself and for others.
These two were the only victim that we know today who came forward with this information, and it is sad to say that this unfortunately happened. But before we close it off, we actually have people who were friends of Nova who has things to say about him. Roll it.
I'm gonna just cut straight to the point and discuss this situation. So I met Nova through one of Nani's streams at the time, and we started to DM each other shortly after that, and we became a part of Nani's group. Fast forward a bit, and I noticed he was being flirty and lovey-dovey with one of the victims in Nani's server and on Twitter, and at the time I was gonna confront him about it, but considering I didn't want to think the worst of him, I just kept it to myself. A couple days before Christmas, Nova was DMing me about a group of people he claimed was harassing him in Nani's server. I looked into it, and at the time I thought, oh, these people are actually harassing him. But I didn't really do much outside of tell him, hey man, I'll look into it if they do it again. And a couple days later, on Christmas Eve, he DM'd me again saying that, oh, they're harassing me again. So I looked into it again and told him, oh, if they keep doing it, I'll mute them, and then if they keep doing it, I'll kick them. He gave me the usernames, and that was that, until he DM'd me asking if he was kicked. Of course, me being confused, I looked into it, and he was kicked, and I told him he was, and he was asking me, why does Nani hate me? And I told him, I'm not sure, maybe it was an accident. Maybe you should ask Nani or Yaki about it. And then he said he did. They're not responding to him, and so I was confused. He was really confused at the time, and then he got someone to bring him back into the server, only for him to be banned immediately afterwards. So then he's asking me why he was banned, and then he asked me to look into why he was banned, and that's when I noticed that it said Nani banned him, and the reason being was, quote, the way he has been speaking with minors has been making me and several others very concerned. So he says, what the fuck? The only minor I was really close with was the minor. We don't talk anymore. And all I simply told him was, I don't know, man. And that was the last time I ever spoke to him. A couple of days afterwards, and when Nani announced why he was banned, what he was doing, I asked her what was going on, and I asked her, can you send me the screenshots you mentioned? And she showed me the screenshots, and that's when I saw what he was actually doing. After that, I told her I'm not going to talk to him anymore. I'm not going to associate with him. And that's pretty much what happened after that. I will be speaking directly to Nova if he's watching this. You need to seek professional help. You have stated on your Twitter that you are taking a break from the internet and are not seeking help. I really hope you are. I hope that you get the help you need, and I hope you stay away from children on the internet. That's all I have to say. Stay safe everyone and be good people.
I'm gonna jump straight to the point. I met Nova through my boyfriend. I'm not gonna blabber on about our friendship because there wasn't much of one. But on December 30th, I saw Nova post the following. I'm conflicted. I want to, but I don't want to at the same time. But like, I'm drawn towards you, but it isn't fully right. There's something wrong with me.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
Before I saw that tweet, I was alerted by my boyfriend that Nova could have been talking to a minor. At that time, no one was sure. So I decided to confront him about it, and here's our conversation. Little editing, Avi here. I forgot that I mentioned one of the minors, so that's why it's blocked off, and I will be saying minor, just saying minor's name here for the minors. So yeah, there's that. Yo, serious question, and I wanted to get this from you. Are you/were you dating or flirting with said minor? Said minor's name? I spelled the minor's name wrong for a second. Yeah, sorry, phone. It's fine, but yeah, we liked each other, but we never dated though. She helped me through a ton, so I ended up catching some feels. Bro, don't know their age, but you can't be falling for minors. You can be friends with them, but you can't flirt or that with minors. There's a power dynamic there, my dude. Well, she helped me with more things than anyone else has combined. I know it's wrong and I feel bad for it, but again, blank has helped me through so fucking much. If you ask her about things as well, go ahead. I have enough negativity towards myself and I don't need any more. And really think about it. Imagine being a minor and an adult you looked up to comes to you and dumps all their emotional baggage out on you and all that mess. You want to help, don't you? But when you help said person, they take it as flirting. A minor doesn't have the mental state to comprehend a lot of shit. I never took their help as flirting. I am her friend and they cared sincerely. I didn't want to talk about my problems much, but I knew blank wanted to help. But here's the thing. You dump your problems onto a minor instead of going to a professional or even another adult. Me and Jake cared about you and you could have talked to either of us, but you didn't. You can't control your feelings, I get it, but you can control if you act upon them or not. You can't say, well, we both feel the same way, because a minor will do anything for some. They will want to help, and they will because they look up to you. You can care about a minor without getting feelings. I'm speaking from experience because you know I was groomed by my ex whenever I was a minor. But here's the thing about that, not everyone is the same. Not all people are going to act the same. Does that make sense? Who even told you about this? And before you accuse me, there was no grooming involved at all. Jake, and he got the stuff from Nani. Bro, someone can be 15 and act 18. That still doesn't make it right. I ain't accusing you of grooming or any of that shit. I'm just telling you what's good. Did I say? I even said I feel about the way I feel towards her. But she helped me through so much. I'm not doing any of the flirty stuff with her anymore. I talked to her about this. Your defensive attitude makes you sound like you are defending the fact that you flirted with her. The attitude of, it's not my fault because she helped me through so much. What else was I supposed to do other than catch feelings? I don't know if you're doing it now or not. It's completely f***ed up, Nova. You keep trying to defend yourself and the actions instead of sitting down and going, yeah, I f***ed up, but I'm going to do better and get help. I may not be getting help, but I am trying to do better. You act like you want me to block her entirely and never talk to her. You definitely need to distance yourself from them. You need to get help, Nova. You need to talk to a professional instead of spilling your thoughts onto a minor. But no one can help you. I have nothing else to say, but I wish you luck and I hope you get professional help. He then proceeds to send me a screenshot between him and said minor that we were talking about. I blocked out the minor again for, reasons. He then proceeds to dramatically say, there, it's ended, everything. And this was a few hours later. I say, bro, Nani said you were supposed to drop them like last week and you lied to Nani. And this is copied and pasted. You'll see Nani's screenshots. This is copied and pasted and sent to me. What else? Should I block said minor? That what you want me to do? I doubt we are even gonna say anything to each other. I sent a screenshot saying I'm done with everything. And I got really furious and I went, I'm done. You keep lying and digging a hole instead of getting help. You need professional help, Nova. And don't try to guilt me. I'm done with this situation because it's borderlining a trigger of mine. If you want to talk to someone, talk to Nani and Jake. And this is where our conversation ended. I would later to find out after I called out Nova on my Twitter that it wasn't just one minor, but there is 2 minors that this happened to, and there might be more, but we don't know. These 2 minors who have came forward to me, they have gotten art from me, from Nova, and they've gotten art and adopts from me, and this is very sickening to my core to find this out. To make this simple, Nova,